handoff. Cam Dyer keeps it himself and runs right into the end zone for the touchdown.
We have a clock going, unofficial clock. 38, kicking it into space. It's in the area. Nice job. Kick good. It's gold. St. Pius gold, if you will. The big shot down the right sideline. Intercepted. Is he in bounds?
He certainly is.
He is.
Just like down.
Now.
It's 7 a.m.
It's 7 a.m. Time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico.
For 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
You know, Fridays are kind of getting to be like Mondays with content, especially this time of year from the day before. We had maybe one of the best baseball games you've ever seen yesterday. I don't know that I'm exaggerating, and we'll get into it, but one of the best baseball games ever. Shut up, Jeff. No, it was pretty damn good. You had the Broncos. Bronco fan. I asked JJ which one you like better, Broncophoria or Broncogasm. Whichever one you like. Big win for your team last night. They looked like a hell of a football team against a team that looked like a depleted, beat-up team starting a late-drafted rookie. But I start this morning with a public address announcement. Good morning, boys and girls. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Thanks for being with us on a Friday on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. How you living?
Oh, what'd it do?
All right. May I give a public address announcement for our listeners before we get into the smorgasbord of content? I know the traffic reports. A little backup on I-25. No, dude. Avoid it until it's gone. That wreck on I-25 South, just south of the Big I, it's between the Big I and Martin Luther King. It's a jackknife, pickup truck pulling a big camper. And it's down to one lane, and it is a nightmare. I had to call JJ and say, "Hey, dude, I literally thought I was going to be late or be early. I had to stay at the Marriott last night. Why? That whole nother story. And I'm like, dude, this is going to be great. I'm going to get in early. I'm actually going to get a cup of coffee before the first break. This is going to be great. And dead stop. Just don't. It's dead stopped. It sucks until they clean it up. Public service announcement from your good friend Jeff Symbieta. All right, I'm here to help the people. JJ, and we'll get to the Broncos, and I don't know if I would start there. It's a relatively local, certainly regional team, a big win. Am I out of my mind telling you that might have been one of the best? Well, not might have. That was one of the best baseball games I've ever seen.
No. Postseason, late inning drama.
Unbelievable, right?
That classifies for. It's going to be one of the most memorable games ever in baseball. Probably not based on, it's just.
It might be.
Game 3 of the ALCS.
It's the Yankees in its postseason.
Only if the Cleveland Guardians win the series.
Okay, to turn it around. But, Aaron Judge turned it around the other way with his home run off of Clase A, right? When you. Okay. I don't know how you were watching the game, and it caught me. I'm like, what the hell just happened? So I had to move out of the house last night, move into the hotel. We were having some construction done. We had an issue. Hey, buddy, can you stay at Audrey's tonight? No, dude, she's out of town. Okay. So I pack in a bag. I'm watching the game. And was it the 8th inning when Clase A came in? Right? And there's 2 outs. They bring in the best closer in baseball. And he's facing Aaron Judge. And he gets 2 strikes on him, and Aaron Judge hits a freaking BB the other way. Over the wall, and all of a sudden they got the lead. And you're like, what just happened? Oh my goodness, there's that dude. He's been quiet. Big dudes, big moments, the whole thing. And didn't they follow that with Giancarlo, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so all of a sudden, it's over. The place is dead. They're dead. It's now, what was it? It was 4-3. They add another one. They're going to the. I mean, it's over. And you get to the bottom of the ninth inning, and you're down to your last out, and it's over, man. Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. Yankees are up 5-3. They bring out their guy, Luke Weaver. He's called on for a 4-out save. So they brought him. And this is one of those things where, these. And I don't blame the managers. They're going to their best arms, but so infrequently in the regular season do you call on your closer in the 8th inning and ask him to get 4 outs or 5 outs. It's usually 2, maybe 3. And so they get Weaver, and he got out of it in the 8th. There was a jam that he inherited, and he got out when he struck out David Fry. And so there was an error to start the inning, and Lane Thomas walked. Jhonkensy Noel hits a home run that lit Cleveland up, dude. With 2, I mean, it was 1 out away. You're just ready to change over to the football game or go watch the Dodgers, right?
Just about.
So that home run was insane. That saves their life, and it goes into extra innings. And then David Fry does it again, and he hits a home run and
Fry
walk
this
off.
season's been crazy. It was a great game. Is it going to be one of the greatest games ever?
Yes.
Not if the Yankees win the series,
Okay,
because we'll never play that highlight.
you don't think so?
No,
They will forever in Cleveland.
On this date,
Yeah.
the home run to walk off win and they win the series, but not. Oh, let's just look back at this game 3 and the Yankees win the series 4-1.
Yeah, and they may win 4-1, right? But
This is a moment that could be magical.
dude, when Judge hit the home run, I'm like, this is a Malcolm Butler moment to me. You know what I mean? Like, how do you come back from that one? And I know it was the 8th inning and it wasn't the 9th, but it was like, damn, that place was popping. And Aaron Judge comes in because you bring in Clase, and look, he got touched up in the Tiger series too now. But you bring in Clase, who was unhittable in the regular season. He was the best closer in baseball. And he gets touched? They take him out of the yard? All right, our best can't beat their best. I mean, that's what that was, right? Aaron Judge is up. He's the MVP. He's their best. We're bringing out our best. We're up. And that dude hits if the wall is 10 feet, that never got 11 feet off the ground, right?
Yeah, that Judge thought that's why he was sprinting.
Yeah.
He didn't think it was going over the wall.
Yeah, he just hit a line drive the other way. And if that just felt like, okay, dude, like your best is better than our best, right? And they come back and they fight. And I mean, I don't know. I do know. That was as good a baseball game as I've seen in a long, long time, with the stakes what they were, being at postseason, and with the Yankees involved, it'll always be a little bit thicker. And it was something else, man. 7-5, the Guardians beat the Yankees last night in a must-win. I mean, you go down 3-0, you're done. Now they're 2-1, and they get to play again today, and we'll see where it goes. But holy smokes, that was something else. Meanwhile, in New York, the Dodgers beat down the Mets. The final score was 10-2. The Dodger bats are popping right now. 10 runs, 12 hits. They got more good pitching. Yamamoto gave him 4 1/3. He gave up 2 runs, and Phillips, Trinan, and Enriquez came and shut it down while they're hitting the ball out of the yard. Betts and Ohtani. Max Muncy's just ripping the ball. Betts was, 4 for 6 last night with 4 runs batted in. And the Dodger bats are rolling. They're up 3-1 on the Mets, can close it out with a win tonight in New York, and then just wait for the World Series. Your games tonight, 3 o'clock. It's the afternoon game, FS1, Dodgers and Mets. And then the 6 o'clock game will be the Yankees in Cleveland. Jack Flaherty, and he's arrested Jack Flaherty. This is
4 days rest.
Dodgers are in a nice spot right now, man. When you win the first game, you're playing from ahead. You've got the opportunity, and their staff is so deep. You got arrested Jack Flaherty going against David Peterson as the Dodgers try to say, screw it, we don't even want to go back to L.A. We'll go back and wait for the winner of the Guardians and Yankees. But they're hitting the ball. That's the team that, at least offensively, they paid for. And no Freddie Freeman last night.
And so that's what money gets you, is opportunities to overcome mistakes or injuries to MVP caliber players. Because Freddie Freeman's not playing.
Yeah.
No big deal. We'll
Tommy
just get
Edman was
Mookie
batting.
Betts.
Yeah, but Tommy Edman was batting cleanup,
Yeah.
which is crazy to me, and he went 3 for 6. Now I'm going to guess he's not making a ton of money.
No, they acquired him in trade deadline from St. Louis.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
moved
the
Taylor.
Dodgers, on top of spending a lot of money, they do make good in-season moves
They're so. I mean, always, and they
to bolster
find dudes.
their depth, and that's what money does in baseball.
You know what I've always in the Dave Roberts era, and what I've marveled about the Dodgers that I haven't necessarily seen to this degree at other teams outside of youth sports. It is the flexibility of the roster. And what I mean by that is you got a Kike Hernandez who can play infield or outfield. You can move Mookie Betts from shortstop to center field, right? You can move Chris Taylor from right field to second base or third base. The in-game moves that Max Muncy can play first or third or like the moves that they make. I've always marveled at the flexibility of the pieces. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's. Do you recall another franchise, another organization, another team that have that many parts that could play so many different places and he could do so many different things with?
You should not that many players that are playing the infield and outfield.
And that's not even with Ohtani being able to
like
play.
one or two guys that you're like, oh, these are utility pieces. We'll play them wherever.
Yeah.
And they've done a really good job of finding a bunch of guys that they put in big situations and make plays both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, I got to think that if Ohtani was able to play, remember that Ohtani, who I believe will win the MVP, who hit 53 home runs and stole 53 bases. Remember that he's still rehabbing his arm from Tommy John surgery. So next year, not only will he be able to hit at the clip he's hitting, you would believe, be your leadoff hitter, he's going to pitch every 5th day. He can play the outfield. Like, don't you think if Ohtani could play, Freeman probably would have been the DH yesterday, right? And Ohtani would have been playing right field or something. And you would have been able to have Freddie Freeman's bat in the lineup and probably not Tommy Edman or somebody. Because you probably would have put Ohtani in right and Betts at short.
That's why I just always laugh at the Dodgers' worries.
Their pitching
There's
worries
always-
were legit, dude.
Okay.
I mean, you look at the staff
If they
that is
had-
on the IR.
Okay.
I mean, it is legit.
Not when you have a bajillion-dollar
Yeah.
Yamamoto.
Yeah.
Bueller, yeah, he's coming back from injury, but that's a dude that's done stuff in
Flaherty.
his career.
Yeah. You got 3 starters in the postseason. And I would have said 2.5 going in because Bueller, and honestly, Bueller's had one good start.
been
so far.
bad.
He's had one good start so far. It was a key big start.
But when he finds it, it's like,
And I guess it's
that's
2
Walker
now,
Buehler.
right? Yeah, it's 2. All right, Dodger fan, you're in. I know there's Ohio transplants all over this place. Cleveland fan, I'd love to hear you. I watched that game last night. I'm just telling you, as good a baseball game as I've ever seen. It was spectacular. A Yankee fan, you're going to tell me, yeah, that was garbage. Yeah, we should have won. All right. As a baseball game, it was unbelievable. Bronco fan, we didn't forget about you. You like Broncoforia better?
I do.
You just think it's safer or what? Bronco-gasms last night?
It's not really.
No? All right.
No.
All right. Not yet. It wasn't that degree, so it's just
No.
Broncoforia?
Yeah.
All right, I'm fine with it. All right, we'll get there. How about that, though? I mean, that's a win. I understand who you beat and what they were all about, and we're going to get there, too. Because I got thoughts on Jake. Why wasn't Jake Hainer playing earlier? We're crying out loud. Big win for them. 505-246-0610. We'll hoe today. We will do 3 for all today. We will get you ready for a big weekend. We didn't forget about the volleyball last night. A ton to get you ready for over the weekend. 505-246-0610 is the number and the text line here to get in on the opening drive on the Sports Animal. I got another number for you and another website for you, because if you're planning an event, and we all do at some point, we all plan something, whether you're in charge of planning your holidays party for your company, you got a gala, you got a reception, anything from 10 people to 20,000 people, I got the spot for you. And it's the Albuquerque Convention Center, right in the heart of downtown We host events there every year. We bring the players and the coaching staff for the Isleta New Mexico Bowl because they take care of our people. The hospitality is spectacular. The food is great. And they've got over 600,000 square feet of versatile indoor and outdoor meeting space that will meet every need you have. Their staff goes over the top for you. The food and beverage options are spectacular. Your event will be the event that everybody wants to be at. They will talk about it. Parking's easy. There's a parking garage adjacent to the center. It's easy access, and it's right in the heart of downtown Albuquerque, right at the center of it all. So scratch finding a venue off your list. Just give them a call. They will take it from there, and your event will be spectacular. It is albuquerquecc.com. That's where all your information is. You can go bounce around and look at it at albuquerquecc.com, and then give the convention center a call. It's 505-768-4575. Area code 505-768-4575. It's the Albuquerque Convention Center. Be at the center of it all.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the Frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavis, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
You like winning on Thursday night? Like your team wins. I mean, you like winning all the time, right? When your team wins, you win. But is it that was awesome, but I got nothing to look forward to the weekend, or I'm going to feel great all weekend? You know what I mean? Like, you're always looking forward to your team playing on Sunday. If you're a fan, maybe not you or me anymore, right? But like, you remember those days?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. If you're playing Monday night, you consume Sunday and then get that game, but get Thursday night football. For me, I'm just all about my fantasy football team. That keeps me going.
I played Alvin Kamara last night. There's no way you would sit him, right?
No,
right.
That wasn't a bad decision. You just expect him to be a focal point of the offense, and they just decided to stop giving him carries, not try to develop a run game. So 7 carries, 10 yards, and I guess if you're in a PPR league, at least he didn't totally dudge you.
You got 1 catch, right?
We got 6 receptions.
Did he get sent? It's not PPR. But he got 14 yards on those 6 receptions? What did he get?
So
he got 14 yards on 6 receptions.
Non-PPR league, it was a dud.
Dude, I got 2.4 points out of him. Out of like my stud running back. I'm done. Mm-hmm. Now, the other league, I played Javonte. And I got 2 touchdowns, and that is a PPR league. But he only, how many catches? He had 3 catches. What I get? So that's a good night. Bronco fan, 33-10. I'm trying to decide, and I think I have decided. Was last night more about the Broncos or the Saints? And I don't want to take anything away from the Broncos because they look like a football team. The young quarterback looks right on target in the evolution of a young quarterback. Getting better, didn't make mistakes last night. Not Spencer Rattler. We'll get there. But Bo Nix looks like it. That's the best that Javonte Williams has ever looked to me.
If Sean Payton can commit to the run,
yeah,
you're going to have a team that can do this all year. And the defense has been better than I expected. And the defense is allowing them to compete. Well, it was Spencer Rattler, man.
Okay, but they've been good all year.
How you feeling when they were up? Chargers were up 23-0 on that team last weekend.
I felt that the defense has been good all year. That's how I felt about the Denver defense.
They're good where they can give the offense a chance to compete. The offense has some deficiencies. I think there are times you still see why Bo Nix was the 6th quarterback of that group. He didn't turn the football over. I give him credit. And what's kind of hard to see right now is do they need? Is it really just all right? You get a wide receiver too, and it's going to look different because Cortland Sutton.
They didn't look
0
at him.
targets.
Yeah.
Last night, Bo Nix has rushed for over 60 yards the last 2 weeks, which helps him.
Yeah.
But there's also 4 games this season where he hasn't thrown a touchdown pass.
On the team, how do you feel the way they looked against Baker Mayfield and Aaron Rodgers?
Really good.
That's my point on them. I think they're really good. I think
the defense has been good, and so it gives them a chance to stay in games, have confidence that they can compete. Bo Nix isn't losing games, and that gives that entire team belief that this young guy is going to keep growing. There's times where I struggle to figure out what they're doing offensively because they'll just straight up abandon the run game. And last night, you're like, that's why you feed Javonte Williams.
Bo Nix it's easy when you're up, too. It's easy to run the ball when you're up.
But they need to do that more constantly. Take some of the pressure off Bo Nix and then allow him to see if he can find some of those shots downfield because the opportunity is there with the way this defense is playing that they're going to be in this position all year to compete and be a very unlikely wild card team.
No, I think that's right. They've got an interesting run with the Panthers coming up, and then they go Ravens, Chiefs, Falcons, which will be a tough little run after that. I got thoughts on the Saints too, man. And I understand the situation, but we'll get there. JT just hung up on us. JT, call back, and I'll put you in front of the line.
You're beat up. You don't have weapons on the outside, but how do you not, even in a short week, game plan around taking the pressure off of Spencer Rattler, not putting him in a situation where he needs to be throwing 30-plus times? Like, you fall behind, you're chasing the game, but that doesn't mean stop running the football. That doesn't mean stop trying to figure out how to create plays. With the best skill position player on the field, it should have been Alvin Kamara yesterday, and he was bottled up.
How bad does Jake Haener have to be in practice? Because Spencer Rattler looked so, at times, in over his head yesterday. And you look at the numbers, Jeff, 25 at 35. Oh, okay, great. For 172 yards, how many of them were dump-offs to Alvin Kamara? 6 of them. For what, 14 yards? I mean, stop. How many turnovers did he have? How many times did he give the ball away? How many times? With all due respect, that dude does not resemble, at least last night, an NFL quarterback. Now, I know it was the end of the game, and Jake Haener came in and marched him down the field. I watched Jake Haener in previous mop-up duty when he came in for Derek Carr when he got hurt. How is Jake Haener not better than Spencer Rattler?
That's quarterback. Like, it's the reality of a fourth-round pick with no wide receiver you could name other than making fun of Bubby.
That's you're right. Look, I'm not telling
making
you
a second career start.
He was up against it, and to that end, then why don't you run the ball more and give the ball to Alvin Kamara? You handed it off to him 7 times. I mean, your point is absolute. He's the best skill player on the field, but he wasn't because you didn't utilize him. It's like what? I mean, the Broncos didn't look at Cortland Sutton. Didn't get targeted. What's he do? Like by when today is he screaming, "Get me the hell out of here"?
They were winning.
Do you think he gives a damn? He didn't get the ball.
That's what everyone says. You win, everything's good.
We'll see. He's a receiver who didn't get the ball. We'll see. But you're Dennis Allen. I mean, again, you and I aren't in practice every day, but you and I both have eyes. How is Jake Haener not better than Spencer Rattler?
Well, and I think it's clear that they tried to see if they could find something with Spencer Rattler, who has at times had a lot of hype coming up out of high school, big-time prospect in college. And there's, I think, a reason why Dennis Allen even hinted at could see some Taysom Hill taking snaps.
Yeah, except for he didn't play.
Well, he was saying moving forward he thinks Taysom Hill could be back before Derek Carr, thus could be your quarterback.
Okay. All right. I can live with that. He was a good college quarterback. He's shown, I mean, okay. I just know what I saw last night, dude. I watched the dude, as good as the Broncos were. And look, I think they're taking advantage of situations, but you can't tell me they only beat bad teams. I mean, the Buccaneers are a good team. You can tell me the Jets are 2-4, and you're right, but everybody believes they're pretty good. Yeah, they beat the Raiders. They beat a bad Saints team.
It's what you have to do. Is when those moments are in front of you in the NFL, you have a good defense that made a rookie quarterback look like a rookie quarterback.
Oh,
and then but if you're the Saints too, that's Derek Carr's out.
Yeah.
You want to see if you can find something with Spencer Rattler. This is what you're supposed to do. Next man up. And sometimes it doesn't look good. And who knows, maybe
but the next man up was Haener, right? He was the number 2 guy. He came in for Carr.
But it's what
and
you
he got
said,
jumped.
They jumped in practice. And Spencer Rattler looked bad. But how do you get reps?
Yeah. Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610. Bronco fan, love to hear your thoughts. And I'm not taking away from you because I thought your team looked good, and you ran the ball. Your defense is nice. Your quarterback's coming along. You're 4-3, and you get to sit back this weekend and not worry about it. And then just a random question, like when your team plays on Thursday night, if you lose, you got to eat it all weekend. But do you, does it free your weekend? Do you just have a great carefree feeling going into the weekend? Or are you like, JJ, it's only about your fantasy team? Is it like I look at it and I'm like, all right, you won, but gosh, you always look forward to the weekend and your team's playing, whether it's your college team
it
or
could be enjoyable.
Yeah.
You got the win under your belt, you just kick back.
Yeah. Yeah. Playing with house money now. 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Brought to you by New Balance.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia
played out and the Broncos having the lead, leaning on the run game, you could see where the target tree went. And this is something that you don't want to force it just to force it. But Courtland Sutton's been the leader in targets for this team. It's, they still need a threat downfield, so he's going to have to be involved, just to see the development of Bo Nix in the passing game, because it is interesting. You look at this season, this is still a team that has 4 games without a touchdown pass, so you're going to want to create there more constantly.
And it's a different game when you're up 16-3 at halftime and you're dominating.
And I think where Courtland Sutton, you've seen him make plays, and he's had to make a lot of tough catches this season to get his big plays, is the red zone is a problem. They stalled again early in that game, and you see the offense take a step forward. It's finding the end zone early because they've settled for a lot of field goals. They've gone 3 and out a lot early in games, and that's the next step. You're 4-3, you're feeling good, and you can grow.
Text line, my football weekend isn't all the better and or easier if my team wins on Thursday, leaving the rest of the week's days to merely relax because I've got 8 favorites. Okay. I just asked the question. I didn't insinuate it. I just asked the question. This one says 33-3, okay? Yes. Okay, I'm down with that. Bo Nix should have had 2 interceptions. Saints dropped 2 easy picks. Quarterback play was not good last night. He did hit Tyrann Mathieu in the chest. Like, if it was an arrow, it would have killed him. Right? I mean, I was at dinner, and dude next to me was like, tell me how dudes could get paid millions of dollars, and they can't. The ball's coming, and they can't squeeze the ball.
That's why it's defensive back.
That's what I told
the joke.
That's what I told
and that thing where it's still developing. You look at the Broncos offense, they do need some more playmakers. We're also looking at Bo Nix to be a bit more of that elevator in the offense. And you don't want to go too hot or too cold with a rookie quarterback. And if the Saints didn't make the plays, well, that still allowed the Broncos the opportunity to make those plays and didn't have.
Yeah.
And it still says 0.
Yeah, it still says 0.
It still says 0 when it comes in.
And to the texter's point, certainly 1, probably 2 should have been picked off, but they weren't. And so where I am, Bo Nix is evolving. I'm not sitting here telling you he's great and he's an all-pro, and I don't even know that he's going to be. I'm watching a guy who was the 6th quarterback in the draft. Can I tell you this? This one I know for a fact. They're 4-3.
Yeah.
I'm watching him not lose games. Now, could that have cost him yesterday? No, because the Saints weren't going to move the ball. Could that cost you in 2 weeks when you play the Chiefs or then that's when it's going to be able to cost you. Larry, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Larry.
Good morning, fellas. Thanks for taking the call.
Where you been?
I wanted to talk about a couple things. First and foremost, a Bronco fan, and I think wins are wins at the end of the year. That's all that matters is how you got the W, and sometimes it is ugly. I'm feeling right now kind of circa Tim Tebow-ish, winning games with a lot of mistakes on the other team and just not a lot of accurate passing. There was a couple passes he dang sure missed, and he knew it. But that's just part of the growing and learning process. I saw a deal this morning on social media where it said it was like a preseason game, and that's kind of what I was thinking last night. I was like, wow, this is just rough. But it's a win, and I'm still believing in Sean Payton. I watched the pregame half-hour pregame deal where he was going back to New Orleans, and it was pretty good show. Emotionally, he still has a home back there. It was kind of neat to watch him. All three of my daughters are flying to New Orleans next week for the Taylor Swift concert.
Nice.
So last night was kind of a cool show, just kind of being in the moment, even though we're in New Mexico. I know I'm rambling. But anyway, that's kind of how I feel about the growth of Bo Nix right now. It's kind of circa Tim Tebow-ish, but I think he's a better passer. I don't know if he's a better runner because Tim Tebow was a truck. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Our defense is hunting. Man, those guys are just, right now, they are hunting. So I like the way that's going. I don't know how many people agree with that, and maybe it's just a bad New Orleans team. But
it was a bad
New Orleans team. What I wanted to ask you guys about, and I'll take your answer off the phone, and I don't even know if you want to touch base on it. But there was a lot of talk yesterday about the volleyball game.
Yeah.
And I'm a father of all daughters. I'm generally the guy that calls in and talks about OU softball, the Findlay girls from Rio Rancho. So I'm big into the girls' sports, being a girl dad. So I have my thoughts on that, and I don't want to offend anybody. But what I wanted to ask you guys is, with all the teams in the Mountain West that are currently saying, we forfeit.
Yeah.
The way I understand it, that counts as a loss. So if all these teams are trying to get to the Mountain West tournament, once they get in the tournament and this other team is continuously advancing because they're getting an automatic win, what's going to happen when they get to the tournament and they have to face this team? Are they going to forfeit? Are they? It seemes like it's a very frustrating situation. I don't know if you guys touched on it.
Yeah, Larry, we spent about an hour and a half on it yesterday. We were deep into it, and I appreciate your call. We're going to get there. Thank you for the call. Don't be a stranger on this. What's going to happen? I don't know. Will these teams play San Jose State in the tournament? We're going to get there. I know we got to take this break, so I'll tell you what. We'll address that when we come back. Lobos and San Jose State last night, and the controversy. Gloria Navarez, the commissioner of the league, has made a comment regarding the transgender player at San Jose State, and how it all went down last night. And I want to address Larry's comments as well. And I know you guys are in on it, and I've already got emails on it. 505-246-0610 is how to get here. Broncos, the baseball last night, the volleyball, all of it's open for you on 95.9 FM and AM 610, Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by all.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Sports Animal.
All right, we spent a lot of time yesterday talking about Mountain West Volleyball, San Jose State, Blair Fleming, the transgender athlete that is on San Jose State, the Lobos opting to play whilst others had forfeited, and Larry just mentioned it, so we'll get into it. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, 505-246-0610. Not that this matters. San Jose State won last night, three games to 1. I watched the lead story on the local news last night, and there was the reporter out there and talking about it, and there were comments from both coaches, and they went back to the anchor desk and moved on to the next story, and I'm like, who won? It's like nobody gave a damn who won the game, and I think it is still part of the story, who won, and so San Jose State won. Larry just asked, what happens as they get into the tournament? And we had this conversation yesterday. From what I'm hearing, Nevada, Utah State, Boise State, Wyoming, the teams who have forfeited and or planning on forfeiting, not playing against San Jose State, because San Jose State has a transgender athlete, a male who's and from what I understand, it's transitioned. We've been saying transitioning. The more I learned yesterday, pretty credible. I do understand this is, JJ at post-op, that this individual has gone through the surgery, gone through the process, is transitioned. Whether that matters to you or not, I don't know. But from what I understand, JJ, their plan is to forfeit. and not play. Now, we'll see what happens when we get there. All of a sudden, a lot of people care about volleyball that never did before. By the way, how'd soccer do last night? You had the call on the Mountain West Network.
3-0 win.
Over?
For the Lobos over Fresno State.
All right, Lobo, good win for Lobo women's soccer yesterday. Did you have that call? Dan says, Juan Jose State, Jeffrey, this is one of the worst leagues in volleyball. Not a single club would be in the state tournament if it started today. Every squad is needing 3 wins in Vegas to save their seasons. So if they draw the Spartans, are they just going to check in their equipment and say, see you next season? And all Gloria can say is she's heartbroken? It's from Dan. We'll get into what the commissioner said. Harold, who's your big volleyball guy, said Kurt Roth and David Williams and A.B. Began were all sitting in the front row of that mess last night, Jeffy. Hopefully they were putting their heads together how to save this Lobo volleyball program with more money for coaching facilities and NIL. It's from Harold. All right. So the commissioner did come out, and she made a statement. And this is like now on the front page of ESPN today. This is it's been burning, and it's been getting hot and growing. Gloria Navarro says, quote, "It breaks my heart because they're human beings, young people, student athletes on both sides of the issue, and we're getting a lot of national attention. It just doesn't feel right to me." She said, "I'm learning a lot about the issue. I don't know a lot of the language yet or the science or the understanding nationally of how this issue plays out. The external influences are so far on either side. We have an election year. It's political. So, yeah, it feels like a no-win based on all the external pressure," end quote. But this is the key, and this is where Dan's email goes. She also said, quote, "The student athlete meets the eligibility standard. So if a team does not play them, it's a forfeit, meaning they take a loss," end quote. Gloria cannot change the rules. As much as you think a commissioner can do whatever they want. The commissioner works for the presidents. She works for the institutions whom she represents, okay, or he. They all operate within the NCAA. So as much as you want this commissioner to go out and say, this person cannot play or they can't do that. And I think you're well aware of all the litigation that has been prevalent surrounding the NCAA and college athletics as a whole. And it hasn't been going their way. Now, you can say, take a stand, and I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. But the bottom line is this student athlete is compliant, and you don't have to agree with the eligibility rules. But that's where they are right now. Now, should they be changed? Would they be changed? Could they be changed? Maybe, and maybe. But that's where we are right now, JJ. I didn't even see the stats. I don't know how this individual did. I'll look them up. I don't know. What did you hear coming out of yesterday?
From where?
I mean, from people who were there or how it went.
I haven't talked to anyone that was there.
Okay.
I know that they were, UNM was really focused on making sure game was able to go on.
A lot of security.
And when, so just from some of the highlights, I saw it was a volleyball match. Boom, played it, move on. And in this situation too, I'm not mad at Gloria Navarez because with what you laid out, she can't just change everything right now. And the teams that, if you're looking ahead to the Mountain West tournament, if you want to make a statement, if you want this issue to be addressed, then you almost have to give up those games. And you take that penalty, and none of this is fair to those teams right now. And you discussed it yesterday, even for San Jose State, the other players on that roster that have to deal with this. And for it to be addressed, what's it going to take? And it might take these teams, sitting out something like a Mountain West volleyball tournament to be able to have those discussions, and for decision makers, at this level, to say, all right, who can and cannot play men's and women's sports in college.
Yeah. Does it matter? Post-op or gone through the procedure or whatever, gone through the transition, does it matter? I don't know enough about the science, to be honest with you. I'm looking at the box score, and I'm not an expert at reading women's volleyball box scores, to be honest with you. But the way I read this, Blair Fleming did lead everybody in San Jose State with 18 kills. She was second in block assists. She had 4. And her team won. 505-246-0610. You're welcome to get in on this. You're welcome to get in on the Broncos last night. Dodgers are up 3-1. How about that? Guardians-Yankees games. I'm telling you, it was one of the best baseball games I've ever seen. Shut up, Jeff. No, really. Tony Bennett's going to step down in Virginia. It's going to be really interesting what he has to say today as the head coach of the men's basketball team of a very successful program. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
With a public service announcement, as of 15 minutes ago, it's still a mess. I told you stay away from I-25. Southbound, there was a wreck, a jackknife. It was like a truck pulling a camper, an RV. Between the Big I and Martin Luther King, I got stuck in it. It was a nightmare. Told you to stay away, and I got a buddy who told me I'm in this bleep at the Big I, and it is bleeped. I'm like, dude, I told you it's horrible. Stay out of it. He said this is 15 minutes ago. They haven't moved the RV 1 inch to open 3 more lanes. Bleeping stupid. So
what's in the RV?
I don't know. All I know is
it's been over an hour and they can't move it.
It was brutal. It was just if you can avoid it. This was I came through a little over an hour ago, but if you can avoid that, just it's. I know they're telling you on the traffic reports and the slowdown's my arse.
They've changed it.
Oh, they have. Yeah. Okay. What have they?
Because you came in screaming at them.
Well, I just came in with a little correction.
It's like, oh, Jeff's here.
Just a little suggestion on how it really is. Opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, happy Friday to you. Glad you're with us. We got a sweet deal coming up. Actually, a sweet deal I think you're really going to like. It's great stuff. We're going to do that coming up here in a few minutes. Broncos win last night, 33-10. Bo Nix is 4-3. They ran the ball. Javonte Williams, 88 yards and 2 touchdowns. And they beat up on a beat-up, really just beaten down Saints team. Dodgers win 10-2. They beat the Mets. They're up 3-1 in the National League Championship Series. And in one of the best baseball games I've seen, JJ, period, like in a long, long, long time. Postseason baseball, and involved the Yankees, late inning heroics, bonkers, just swings. The Guardians beat the Yankees in 10 innings, 7-5 on a David Fry walk-off home run after John Kenzie Noel hit a 2-out home run in the 9th to save the Guardians after Aaron Judge hit a home run off of Clase, the greatest closer in the world for the Yankees. The game was bonkers. It was as good a baseball as I've seen, drama-wise, in a long, long time. And to your point...
Well, 3 of the home runs came with 2 outs.
Yeah. Yes.
That's drama. That's as
Judge's
tight
was
as
with
it
2
gets.
strikes, right? I'm pretty sure.
Down to the last strike, boom! Yes. It is really hard to top an 8th, 9th, and 10th inning like that with multiple homers, 2-run homers, tie the game, win the game. Incredible last night, and you're always looking at, all right, what is that moment? Cleveland, this is your moment.
Yeah.
You got to jump on it.
Yeah, they got to win tonight. All right, 505-246-0610. Also last night, San Jose State beat New Mexico in volleyball 3-1, which I don't know if that matters to you. The story was the controversy surrounding Blair Fleming, a transgender athlete on San Jose State's roster. And would New Mexico play? They did. What would the reception be? And the national spotlight that's on that. Text line says Gonchar, who's the head volleyball coach, could have done wonders by winning that last night. He lost like he does most of the time. Another Eddie Nunez hire. That's what it says on the text line. They're 2-5. They may not make the tournament, so they may not have to worry about having to go and deciding whether or not they're going to play or forfeit. Larry called earlier and asked how we felt about it and how our team's going to forfeit in the tournament. JJ, we talked about the possibility, and it's not probable, but I don't think it's absolutely unquestionable that they could forfeit their way all the way to a national championship.
I don't think that happens.
I don't think it happens either. I just don't. Right? But
they're not going to forfeit their way to a national championship, but that would be you'd have to get so many people on board. Yeah. Like, is this the statement? Is this going to be the game changer that people think needs to happen to address it? But because there are teams that, whatever you feel about Blair Fleming, can go out there and destroy San Jose State. Best volleyball teams in the country, I'm sure.
Well,
wouldn't have a problem winning those games.
And this was said yesterday, and Bob Clark over at News Radio KKUB has brought this up a number of times. And how did it come out now? Blair Fleming has been playing there for a bit. This athlete in question, the Lobos have played against this team with this athlete a number of times over the past few years. Donald Trump came out and said that he saw the hit and it was so hard. He's never seen a hit so hard. It was in the. Let me get it exactly for you. And where San Diego State, he was talking about a play in the San Diego State game. Donald Trump, quote, "I saw the slam. It was a slam. I never saw a ball hit so hard. Hit the girl in the head." And that was his quote. And so he was asked, well, what can be done? He said, you just ban it. The president bans it. You just don't let it happen. He was talking about a play at San Diego State. And San Diego State came out and issued a statement that said, quote, "It's been incorrectly reported that a San Diego State University student athlete was hit in the face with a volleyball during match play with San Jose State University. The ball bounced off her shoulder, or bounced off the shoulder of the student athlete, and the athlete was uninjured and did not miss a play." But that's how this is.
But people don't care that the player did not get hit in the face. It was said, it was reported, and thus.
Well, it was the hardest hit.
The hardest hit
Donald
that
Trump had
anyone
ever
has
seen. Well, at least Donald Trump.
Yeah. Never seen anything harder.
Yeah. Never. It's the hardest. Nobody's ever seen anything like it.
And then something like that is what you pick up on, and
that's the narrative. No, I understand it. Look, you and I both have made this very, very clear. And Larry called in, and we did spend a lot of time on this yesterday. We both, I think, feel the same way. Be who you want to be who you're comfortable. And it doesn't, love who you want to love, do your thing. But there is a line for biological male athletes. We feel they shouldn't be playing women's sports. There's a biological advantage. I would ask you, would it make a difference? And I guess I don't know enough. If the athlete in question has transitioned, plural, gone through the process, the surgery, I hear all the time, these people are doing this because they're not good enough to play men's sports. And I'm just telling you, that's not why people transition. They don't transition just so they can excel in sports. I know that's a narrative. Not necessarily around this individual, right? But does that make a difference? And again, I don't know if it does or if it doesn't, but that's coming into play here as well. If you were there, I'd love your thoughts. It sounds like, JJ, it was very respectful. The head coach of San Jose State, I heard on the news last night, was talking about how they took care of his team. There was security, there were police escorts, that's just how they have to travel now. And you're going to tell me it's a waste of resources, and I would tell you, you know what? Honestly, it's not. If it prevents something from happening, it's probably not a waste of resources.
And I did hear that there were plenty of threats. So I don't like.
So tell me what
threats made,
like verbal threats, or
on social media, people getting numbers, stuff like that.
What do you mean numbers? Like
phone numbers of staff.
See. It's crazy, and go where you want to go with it. And the coach of San Jose State said about the threats and the hate that not only this individual has gotten, but the other girls on his team. He said in the ESPN story, quote, "I know that's definitely taken a toll on many of them. They're receiving messages of hate, which is completely ridiculous to me. Some of these people are the underbelly of society that you attack an 18, 19, 20-year-old female, even more so if you're a parent and you're attacking an 18, 19, 20-year-olds. Would you want your student athlete, your daughter, to face the same kind of hate you're dishing out?" That was a quote. And then he was asked about the forfeits and how it's taken a toll on the rest of his team, all of his team. Quote, "When we had our first forfeit, there was a lot of heartbreak. And now we've kind of not come to expect it, but we know that certain programs may forfeit. It still does hurt our student athletes when we don't play a match, but I think they've come to accept it a little more. And I think that's a very unfortunate thing to say," end quote. So obviously it's taken a toll on the rest of the team. And that's where I came out yesterday, JJ. And I said, with all the attention and how it's affecting so many others, whether it's the student athletes on other teams or on your own, and you're going to tell me potentially that this individual has a right to play, and maybe you're right, but is it selfish, and it feels this way to me now, that to see the results of what's going on, is it selfish for them for this individual to keep playing and them to continue to play? They can't do anything about her play. If she wants to play, like legally, civil rights wise, they can't do a thing. And that's where I asked that question yesterday. 505-246-0610. Sherman, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Sherman.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Hope you're having a good Friday.
You too.
So, I don't have any comment about the player, but I do, since it is the former president, I wonder if we could actually do a fact check, and let's find out how many women's volleyball games he's attended. What do you think?
How many? Who's attended? The president?
The former president, right?
Yeah, I'm going to guess. If I put the over under at 1/2, which way would you go? Yeah, but he saw it.
So,
he saw it.
Yeah. So I just, it kind of raises the question. I just didn't realize he was such a great women's volleyball fan.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
Well, anyway, have a good morning, my friend.
Yeah, see
good
you.
morning.
Thanks. Lenny, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Lenny.
Hi, I'm going to talk about this. I've given up on baseball. Every time I make a pick, they don't happen. So I've already given up, and the white flag is out on both sides of my car.
Got it.
So your daughter played high school sports.
Yeah.
She played individual and she played team.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's look at the individual. Your daughter is running, playing her butt off to get a scholarship, make the team do good. She goes up against another team, transgender athlete, wipes her out in an individual event.
Yep.
Is that fair to any individual female athlete?
No.
It's just not fair. Now, I've read up on this, and I'm LGBTQ pro. I have plenty of friends that are. But at the same time, if they don't take testosterone blockers before they're 13, they're going to have such an advantage on the female athletes. It's just not fair to those athletes. Look, what is it? Leah Thomas, the swimmer that was ranked, 400 in men's, and then breaks every record in the swimming.
Yep. Well, we're all in agreement on this.
So San Jose State, I understand what they're doing. It's a team sport. I understand. Was there 5 other players besides that individual on the court?
There's a whole team out there. Yeah.
I know. I'm saying when they're playing, what is it, 5-on-5?
Yeah.
I'm not okay. So it takes away a little bit from that one person dominating the whole game, but it's still a dominant male or a male athlete dominating in a female sport.
That's right. So
it's not
easy.
fair.
It's easy. I know. We all think it's pretty easy. Yeah.
So everyone walks a tightrope and go, well, if you say this, then you're bashing the No, I'm not bashing them in public. I'm not bashing them anywhere. I'm just giving an opinion. I have a daughter. I know if she was playing sports, if she was going up against a male, she would have no shot.
Yeah, we're all in agreement on this, man. Yeah.
I mean, who was the one you talked about? If they're fully transitioned, who was the one that played Billie Jean King back in the 70s? Renee Richards?
That's right. Yeah, Renee Richards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who lost to Billie Jean King? But you also heard, was it the Serena and Venus say that if they paid a male athlete,
yeah, Serena said
have
it.
no chance.
Serena said that a long time ago. Yeah.
So you have to be fair to the female athletes. So everyone wants to coddle to one athlete that's transgender, but what about everyone else?
Look, the rights of one should not supersede the rights of the vast majority.
No, the rights of one should not trump. I hate to use that term or name, but you got every other athlete that has earned a right to be in that team. Wow. And what about the player that person took a spot away from?
Yeah. All these are valid arguments, and I think we're all in agreement on it. And I think that's where the majority of people are. Hey, man, I got to hit this break.
At a certain point, they're going to have to step in the NCAA, and do they make a open division?
Do they have a trans division or an open division? And are there enough people to do that for? I mean, that's a whole nother. Do you have to do that to make sure everybody has somewhere to play? And are there enough people who would be in that division that makes it worth sponsoring? And
There wouldn't be, but at the same time, I'm more concerned about the athletes in that sport that are the actual gender for that team.
Yeah. No, I got to hit this break, man. I appreciate the call.
You both have a good weekend.
You too. 505-246-0610. I got a sweet deal you're going to really, really, really like when we come back. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 670 Sports Animal.
This
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where...
Topics. Broncos win last night. The Guardians-Yankees game, which was crazy good. Dodgers continue to win. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. We got sweet deal that you will love. And this is honestly one of my favorite things to do in our town. And if you've done it, you get it. And if you haven't, you will understand how great Ice Wolves hockey is. Out at the Ice Outpost Arena, the Ice Wolves are going to be home after a brutal schedule. It's starting on the road. And yes, they will be home at some point. And that will be November 1st. They're in Odessa tonight. But the New Mexico Ice Wolves, it's junior hockey. It is a beautiful, intimate setting. The hockey is fantastic. The experience is great. And it is our sweet deal today. Go to our website, sportsanimalabq.com. Click on the sweet deal icon. Do it at 9 o'clock. And you will get 4 tickets and 4 fountain drinks to an Ice Wolf game of your choosing for just $39. That would normally cost you $78. The owner of the Ice Wolves is Stan Hubbard, who's done an amazing job with this club. He joins us this morning. How are you, Stan?
Hey, Jeff, good morning. I don't even have to say anything after I got something from a fan like you. That's spectacular. Thank you.
Did I do you justice? I mean, is it fair? Because we love going out there.
You know, you did more than justice. It's so much fun to go out there. It's so much fun for a family, right? And sometimes you see with that cool loop, a lot of times you see the kids leave their parents, put a pair of skates on, go skate on the loop rinks right up to the edge, watch a game, steal their buddy's hat, go skate around again. But it's such a great family friendly event, and it is we throw those rubber wolves on when the home team scores. Every dollar goes to youth hockey from those rubber wolves. You know, some great prizes with chuck a puck between periods, trying to hit the targets with the rubber pucks, and you know it's just such a fun event, as you know. And hockey is really the one game, the one sport that is so much better in person than it is. It's great on TV now too with HD, but it's so much better in person, and it's so much fun. Now our 3HL team. Off to a great start. They actually play this weekend, tonight and tomorrow at 6:30 and Sunday at 2 p.m. So anybody who's interested in these can jump right on it this weekend and come out and experience some hockey and check out other things that are out there, right? It's the only skate and hockey shop, Ice Wolves merchandise in the state of New Mexico. Learn the skate classes.
And you've created the best logo in the history of New Mexico sports, by the way. The best logo, period, in the history of New Mexico sports. Stan Hubbard's the owner of the Ice Wolves. And you're talking to 2 hockey guys. JJ and I love the hockey. And you were kind enough last year, towards the end of the season, you hosted my daughter and I. And it was Addie's first hockey game, and she loved it. And so, Stan, she went out. She didn't get season tickets for Michigan hockey, but she found herself and bought a ticket for the opener, and she's like, Dad, I went out to the opener for Wolverines. Like you got her hooked on that one game there. And I know that's kind of what happens all the time. I know you hear it all the time. People who haven't seen hockey go out there and go, damn, this is cool.
It's cool and it's fast. And, the junior hockey, you talk about Michigan, junior hockey is all about young men getting to college hockey. And, probably one player a year goes directly from college hockey from high school. So they play juniors, they're 18, 19, 20 years old. They get their college deals. And, we've got players that have played here over the last 5 years, colleges all over the country, and big ones. They're at Notre Dame and they're at UMass Lowell. I mean, they're big schools playing hockey, and those are the guys you're going to see here. And not going to be long, we're going to see somebody playing in the National Hockey League that grew up and played here. And, just beyond this deal, boy, kids want to learn to skate, want to learn to play hockey. There's lots of opportunities at OutpostIceArena.com. Just come on out and give it a try.
The youth hockey movement has grown so much with what you've done with the Outpost and the group out there. He's Stan Hubbard. He is the owner of the New Mexico Ice Wolves, and that is our sweet deal today.
Stan, when you look
see you guys at the Outpost.
No, go ahead. No, hit it. JJ, you want to ask the question? Oh, you're done? All right, Stan, we're going to let you move because I know you got to do a bunch of these. If you want to check them out, go to the website. It's NM, as in New Mexico, nmicewolves.com. The schedule's there. You'll see the logo. I wear that hat around the country. People are like, damn, that's really cool. Like, what is that? But better than that, you'll see the schedule. You'll see how to take advantage of all they got. Go to our website, sportsanimalabq.com, 9 o'clock. Click on the Sweet Deal icon and take advantage of the Sweet Deal. It is New Mexico Ice Wolves. It is 4 tickets and 4 sodas. And it's half price. It is just $39. You get to go out to a game. Stan, I'll see you soon. Always appreciate the time. Have a great season. Best of luck. And God, it'll be nice to have the boys home, won't it? some point.
See you guys at the rink. Come on out this weekend. The 3HL team plays. 3HL and at MiceWolves.com.
All right. We'll see you soon. Take care.
See you. Take care. Bye.
I'm not kidding with you. You've been out there, right? For the Ice Wolves?
No.
You haven't. But you've been out to the rink. I know. I took you out there.
Been in the outpost.
What they've done with it is great. It's just an intimate, and it's good hockey, man. It's good hockey. Junior hockey is. So go out and take advantage of that. All right. When we get back, 505-246-0610. You're ringing the phones. I know we've got a lot of topics on the table for you. I want to get into some of the stuff this weekend because it sure sounds like the Steelers are making a quarterback. I got another frustrated wide receiver for you who's not getting the ball enough. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This message brought to you.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong and we're still as local as red and green.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Lots to do still on a Friday. We got 3 for All coming up in the 9 o'clock hour. Right about 9:30 we do that. We will We will get you ready for the weekend. We got to get through the baseball that was great yesterday. The Broncos are winner. Broncophoria, 33-3. They rolled over the Saints. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, 505-246-0610. Jim, you told me, right? Hello, Jim. How you living? Thanks for holding. You're on the Sports Animal.
I'm living great. Thank you.
Good.
You know what bothers me? These 7-footers playing basketball, they have such a genetic advantage. How come there are no rules to eliminate 7-footers and let the rest of us short people compete? Because when a 7-footer gets on a team, you know what happens? I get kicked off the team because I'm too short, because I'm not very good, because I'm not competitive enough to make the team. It's just awful, isn't it?
That's why they got 6-foot and under leagues, right? Can't you find one of those?
Oh, they must. Let's create a special league, perhaps.
Well, they do, actually.
You know what? This is a lesson in tolerance. That's what it's a lesson in. You know, the vast majority of transgender individuals actually have DNA that are female with male parts. That's what happens in the world. Some people are born with 5 or 6 toes. Some people are born with extra limbs. Some people are born with red hair. DNA, for some reason, creates a female in a male body, or vice versa.
Okay.
And so this is just a lesson in tolerance. Okay, it's one individual or a few individuals out there. All right. Do there have to be special rules? That's, a higher pay grade. We'll see. But there's always a disadvantage in sports. Can you imagine you playing against Michael Jordan? Do you have a chance? Are you going to get a shot? But you're not. He's physically, genetically better than you are. So that's this conversation. All right, it's just a lesson in tolerance.
Okay, Jim, do you agree that a genetic or a biological man, someone born male, has a biological advantage, physical advantage over females?
Just like Brian Urlacher has a physical advantage over all of us, and he's male. Okay, it happens. There are differences between, in physicality, in mentality. There are differences between all of us. It's a sport. It's a game. It's supposed to be competitive. If you want to be the best, beat the best. If you have the best female volleyball team out there, my guess is they would like to play the best male volleyball team to see whether or not they can compete against them. All right? That's the nature of sport. It's to play against people that are better than you are, or to show that you're better than they are. All right? And this is one or two individuals, in various sports. They were, as I understand the DNA part of all of this, is their DNA is actually female, but they're born with male parts. And as a result, they
in some instances,
are
right?
Female.
Yeah,
they're female. They're technically female with male parts.
In some instances,
so that's
right?
the complicated thing.
Yeah, but that's not that totality, right? That's some instances is what you're telling me, correct?
Well, the vast majority of them.
Okay.
Okay, as I understand it. Okay, but again, look at what's the nature of sport? What is the purpose of sport?
Go out and be your best and beat the best. But there's the argument here is this is not a level playing field. If there's a women's division and a men's division,
sport is never a level playing field. Did you watch the game last night? Oh my God! Tell me that was a level playing fild.
Which one? The Saints game?
There was one team that was markedly better than the other team.
Yeah.
Okay, it's never a level playing field.
Okay, I understand your point, and I appreciate your call, Jim. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. And so there's the other side of this, right? Is it ever a level playing field? I mean, you have injuries, you have some teams spending more money. What he's saying to you is, dude, Shaquille O'Neal's 7 feet. How are you supposed to compete with him?
Because some teams have a 7-footer of their own.
Well, what he's saying is some teams have a transgender athlete who's on their team. That's what he's telling you. Okay. Gopher said, reply to Jim, wow, Jeff, what was that? That call was a lesson in tolerance. Okay. But listen to the other side. I mean, obviously there's another side of the story here, right? Obviously there is another, and that.
Well, I think one of the points too is, I've talked to people in the women's game, and they're like, yes, that you shouldn't have men playing women's sports, but there also is the realization that this, and you've touched on it, like there just isn't like hundreds of dudes all of a sudden flooding into women's athletics just to play and saying, there's something else.
Raul said, it's not about athletic advantage. Why do we not have this issue with women find play in men's sports? We got into that yesterday. He says, I might have missed it, but you talk about the Lobo girl getting scammed in the head last night. No, I don't know what I honestly don't know to what you're referring. So no, we have not talked about that. 505-246-06 if you want to get into it. Maurice said KGGM, which is now KRQE's coverage. Jeff, last night reminded me of Albuquerque baseball, where they bury the score at the end of the story. On Mariachi's night, Albuquerque Baseball Club scored on the sac fly in the third, but they lost 9-3. Yeah, nobody cared about that. The story last night wasn't the score, although it should have been part of the story. I think even, as you wonder, okay, but did they beat that team with the transgender athlete, right? I mean, that's kind of part of it. All right. The other part of it, JJ, so the coach's phone number's been put out on social media. He's been getting, I don't know, threats or certainly hate calls and messages. The players on the San Jose State team have been getting, so what is it you're telling these people? What do you tell, how is this gone chart? With all due respect, if you think they should have forfeited or if you don't, you think they should have stood in solidarity with Boise State and Utah State and for, the bottom line is the ladies on that team decided to play. They played against this team before. What is it you're screaming at the coach? What is it you want from the coach? You want him to lead and tell him not to play? Okay. But you're going to threaten him? I don't know who you are. Greg, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Greg.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good.
Good morning.
Good
Just
morning.
a quick comment on the previous caller. In horse racing, They do everything they can to make it even. In other words, a jockey or a horse will carry more weight than other horses to even out the odds, to even out the competition. And you never see a male horse step down and run against a female horse. Occasionally you'll see a horse like Torpeda Anna recently ran against the boys, but they try to keep it as even as possible. That's really all I got.
I think thanks. There's always an attempt to have a level playing field. To sometime it not be, often. Robert, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Robert.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. What's happening?
My comment is towards that guy Jim that called a couple calls ago. His statement was so asinine. It was so backwards. I couldn't believe somebody said something so stupid. With his theory, I should go join a T-ball league and play against these little 6 and 7 year olds, just to teach them a lesson in sportsmanship and learn to teach them that they can't win every game or something. That's so stupid to have, saying that men should play, be able to play with women. If that's the case, let's just eliminate all divisions and just make it all men's league. And if the women want to play, they can just play in that. So what he said is really dumb. I just couldn't believe it.
Thank you. 505-246-0610. I mean, you got the other side of it, right? I mean, I think for the most part, we and I say we, the majority of content we've had, the feedback we've had, has been, look, understand, be who you want to be, love who you want to love. If you feel like you're a woman, live your life. I don't. Nobody, do your thing. Is it fair and to play a biological man in a woman's sport? Most of us, and I appreciate Jim's call and I appreciate his stance. It's an unfair advantage. His point is it's never a level playing field. You always want to play against the best. These women, he said, the women probably want to play against the best men's volleyball team. Do they in competition in NCAA competition? I mean, do they? There's a reason there's a women's division, a men's division, and he said the majority of the women who are transitioning, it's a DNA thing, and okay. I appreciate the other side of it. I appreciate listening to that. You don't have to agree with it. He said Shaquille O'Neal's got a biological advantage. He's 7 foot and huge. How am I supposed to play against Michael Jordan? I can't. That's right. That's why I didn't play pro basketball. I might be short, but I'm slow. Right? 505-246-0610 if you want to continue on that. 3 for all at 9:30. We're going to clear way for that, right? We are, right? Should I start looking at that? Hey, if you've been the victim of a break-in, home, business, whatever it is, you know that it takes hours, if not days, for police to respond. You just don't have enough officers to cover all the calls that they get. If you haven't been, I know you know someone who has in this town. Look, when it's you, when it's your home, when it's your business, it's important. How does a response within 7 minutes or less sound? That's normally the response time for customers of International Protective Service. I've trusted IPS for years. They patrol my home. They're there every day. You've seen them all around your neighborhood. You've seen them at your retail outlets. IPS has officers strategically placed all around Albuquerque, now in Santa Fe. They react quickly. Many times they catch the criminals in the act. They detain them. The police come and pick them up. IPS also provides you standing guards if you need eyes on your property around the clock. They will install alarms and camera systems. They have a state-of-the-art facility that monitors those cameras 24/7. All of this raises the level of security around your home and your business. So who's watching your home? Who's watching your business when you're not there? The answer's got to be the good guys and not the bad guys. A quick response to your alarm or standing guards at your business. It's what IPS does. You'll sleep better at night. 505-897-2420 is the number. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. International Protective Service, passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Azera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
If you're drunk,
Blasted.
intoxicated,
Rip. Plaster.
taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
9:10, 9:12, right in there. But it being Friday. Sorry, dude, I felt good. I could have gone longer, but I wanted to call him before the break. I slept at a Holiday Inn Express last night. No, that's not right. I slept at the Marriott last night.
So you're feeling great.
Yeah. I had to go to a hotel last night. Hey, Jeff, good morning. Thanks for holding. You're on the Sports Animal. What's up?
Not much. Good morning. Happy Friday to you guys. How you doing?
Life's grooving.
Good. Hey, I just needed to call and correct something. The gentleman that called earlier, acting like he was a scientist or a biologist, stated that most transgender women who were born male have female DNA. That is 1,000% false. Like that's not even debatable. The majority of people that are born male, they simply identify their gender as female later in life when they become transgender. It's not because they have female DNA.
That's the way I understand it.
So when you have people like that going around spewing just like information that they probably, made up in their brain or something, it really muddies the waters. And his whole equality talk was it was kind of off in left field. So I just felt it important just to clarify that.
I appreciate that.
Most trans women are not born with female DNA.
Yeah, I'd not ever heard that before. I didn't until I knew I wanted to look that up. I didn't ever hear that. But thank you for that. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Have a good day.
Bye. Later. It's not something that I mean, look, to me, it's not a comparable thing. You're playing a male sport or a female sport. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the way he played it out, JJ, you're right. Shaquille O'Neal's got a biological advantage over me, whether it's his DNA, his lineage, whatever. You're right. I can't play against Shaquille O'Neal. It's not an even playing field. But it's a male sport and a female sport, and but you know what? He probably, if he wanted to play golf against me, he might be able to. But maybe there's my game that I can find, right? Or whatever your advantage is. I just, it's an interesting argument or an interesting point or an interesting way to look at it. And I appreciate the other side of it. I think we all needed to hear something. The caller, Jim, said it was a lesson. This is a lesson in tolerance. You should be tolerant of a transgender athlete competing in female sports. The majority of people, certainly overwhelmingly, it feels, are not on that side of it. All right, 3 for All at 9:30, 505-246-0610. Reset topics at the top of the hour for you. We got NFL last night. Broncos 33-3, dude. It hit the over, didn't it? 33-10. I keep saying 33-3. It was 33-10. The over was 36.5. Everybody guaranteed me the under. It hit the over. It's the opening drive on 90. Oh, and one of the best baseball games I've ever seen was last night. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM. An AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated,
ripped,
plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
What's going on? Who are you guys? Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres. They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make them happy back home, Captain. Who's that? That's your new buddy in jail.
Caster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bach.
You know, you guys were smoking on the phones today. What day is what day is it? What time is it? 505-246-0610. You've been lighting them up. A lot of thoughts on global women's volleyball last night against San Jose State. The Spartans won the match 3-1, if that matters to you. The story was certainly about will they play, should they play, did they play, against whom they played with a transgender athlete on San Jose State. And the story gone national. Gloria Navarez, the commissioner of the conference, has come out and said the whole situation's heartbreaking. And some of you are upset that she hasn't done more. And I just don't know what more she can do within the rules of the NCAA and the Mountain West Conference that are set forth, which she cannot just, boom, that's it. And the president says she can't play, she can't play. Can the president, even if the president wanted to say, like Trump said yesterday, if the president says she can't play, she can't play. Like, last I checked, we're not a dictatorship, right? Yet.
Well, she can sign an executive order, but what does it? Man, I need one of those. Hey, I'm a bill. The Schoolhouse Rock.
Right now. Right. I mean, so you guys are in on that. Get in 505-246-0610. That'll be the number to give away the Social Distortion tickets coming up here in about 10 minutes. Broncos win last night 33-10. Javonte Williams, 14 carries, 88 yards, and a couple touchdowns for the 4-3 Denver Broncos. Baseball last night, Dodgers hit a bunch more home runs, 10-2. They beat the Mets. They're up 3-1 in the National League Championship Series. And the baseball in Cleveland last night, and I know it sounds like recency bias in it. It just isn't. It was one of the best games I've seen, and I can't tell you how long. With the stakes on the line, Cleveland getting set to go up, or to get back in the series at 2-1. And they bring in Emmanuel Clase, their closer, who was the best closer in baseball all year, in the 8th inning to protect a lead. And Aaron Judge, the presumed MVP in the American League, hits a bullet home run just over the wall in right field. The emotion that the Yankees showed, the air sucked out of the whole state of Ohio until Jhonkensy Noel hits a 2-out home run in the bottom of the 9th to tie it up. Place went bonkers. They went into extra innings, and there was that dude again, David Fry, who hits a walk-off home run for Cleveland in the 10th, and they went beyond bonkers, and that series is 2-1. It would have been over at 3-0. Not over. They still would have had to win, the fourth game, but I think you understand it and what that meant. It's going to be interesting to see how the Yanks bounce back tonight, right? Because the swings in that game were insane. The emotion was off the chain, and it was one of the best baseball games, period, with the stakes and everything that it meant. I've seen it in a long, long time. So you can get in on any of that. Steelers look like they're going to make a quarterback change. Amari Cooper is going to make his debut. And at some point I want to get into this Tony Bennett story, and we'll know more later today. The very successful and young, he's only 55 years old, head coach of the Virginia Cavaliers men's basketball team is announcing his retirement today. And the word, JJ, is it's just kind of not an illness thing. It's just, man, I don't want to do this. It's a weird time to do it right before the season. But he's like, it's just between transfer portal and NIL, and it's just not what I got into. That's kind of what I'm hearing.
It seems like a weird time, but it's also a time that you guarantee whoever takes over, well, not guarantee.
Is your guy.
It's like it's your guy, but you're trying to say, hey, I'm trying to give you somewhat of a roster. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure he's discussed it with the team. And do you feel in a rough spot for one of those players?
It's interesting. That's a good way to look at it.
But I think a lot of it is he's just was trying to keep it together for whoever steps in for at least this year.
No, that's actually really good. 505-246-0610. Terry, good morning. Happy Friday. You're on the Sports Animal. How you living?
Yeah, good Friday, Jeff. Good Friday, JJ. Thoughts and hugs to all family members. Oh, I know all them Dodger family members are going wild, and so good for them. Going on the topic, a little off. My mom was born in the 20s. She always wished she could have done sports. My sister graduated high school in 72. It finally was close to Title IX. Had a D1 child, our daughter, and she benefited greatly from it. So I just think it's a kick in the teeth to women. All these rules, but the one that doesn't matter is the guy can be a girl, whichever. Props to the Nevada governor. for standing up for the players, and the University of Nevada administration can go eat rocks. Sometimes doing what you feel is the right thing hurts, and so some of these players that are willing to sacrifice for what they feel is what should happen, my thoughts go to them, because that's just something that you live with and have to move on. Baseball, mine will still go back to 75 World Series. This kid's all run, but mine was Carbo's 3-run home run to tie it up. So that game, things can be tied to a family. We're visiting my dad in the hospital. He was terminal. We were driving home. Carbo does it on the radio. Then we watch this. So even though the Red Sox didn't win, all that stays in my head. So got to finish up with a little lighthearted of the week. I don't know if you guys have gone over this. I've missed things. Have you seen the Canadian football play yet in the NFL? You're going, what the heck is he talking about? That new rule on kickoffs. So if it's real windy and the ball falls off the tee twice, the team's going to bring out a 12th player to hold the ball.
I like that. And then he gets off the field. I like that. I've always thought that should be right.
I guess he has to sprint off and he has to get somebody fast enough.
He can't be in the play. I've always thought that should be the way, because it's a distinct disadvantage if you only got 11 and one dude's got to hold the ball and you got one guy less going down there. I've always liked that.
So here you're into it, because I'd always say when either a guy was running, I'd say Canadian football. It's not Canadian football, but in this time it is Canadian football. But I imagine with the weather, it's going to come into play. But I like to, you have to have a fast guy up there that sprints off and gets out of the way.
Well, especially now, because the rest of the team's 40 yards up the field. So now you're at a distinct disadvantage, right? If you got to pull one of those guys back 30, 40 yards, wherever the kicker stands by himself, the way the new dynamic kickoff is, it's a no-brainer now.
No, I understand what they're doing. I think they've just kind of messed. I kind of wish they just went back the old way, but that's just me. But I'll live with it and all that. So you guys have a great weekend, and be safe and enjoy your family.
You as well. Thanks. I didn't know they were doing that, to be honest with you. I've always wondered if the ball doesn't stay on the tee, right? It's windy. What harm does it do to have an extra guy come out, hold it, and take the team, get the hell off the field, not be in the play?
Now, what you should do
is
have the kicker run off, and then that extra guy can go cover.
It's an interesting way to. I don't hate that either. I just don't. That way your kicker doesn't get blown up.
Kickers aren't flailing around and getting hurt all the time.
Blown up trying to make a kick twice a year. Yeah, that's fair. That's the way it should be, especially with guys now. What is it, 30 yards up the field, wherever they are? Yeah, and that's easy. It's harmless. It doesn't do anybody any harm. It keeps the ball on the tee, and it keeps. Oh wait, we don't want level playing fields, right? It's not fair. Sometimes there's an advantage. All right, 505-246-0610. By the way, do you like the dynamic kickoff? Do you feel like it's added to the game? It certainly hasn't killed it.
No, I don't. It hasn't been as dramatic as I thought it was going to be. Teams are still just launching it out of the end zone.
There's no.
I'm
you
fine
have to
with
declare the onside kick now.
I don't. That's kind of a bummer that it takes away. But even with the surprise onside kick, that's. It feels like that's one of the lowest percentage plays in all of sports anyway these days.
Well, you just don't attempt it now. There's no surprise onside kick. You get it a little bit in college football. But, yeah, that's how it is. All right, I'm going to hit a little on this, too, when we get back. 505-246-0610 is going to be the number that we're going to give away these tickets here in a moment. Richard Pitino was at Media Day. And he was asked your thoughts on realignment. Very blunt response. Get into that from the basketball side and from the basketball coach at UNM. We'll do 3 for All coming up at 9:30. Your number is 505-246-0610. Caller number 5 right now. Caller 5 right now at 505-246-0610. You'll win a pair of tickets. Go see Social Distortion on Tuesday night of next week out at the Rio Rancho Events Center, courtesy of your good friend, J.J. Buck. At 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Ryan Radke here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal, to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of...
I argue he's doing as well as Dak is doing. Or he did as well as Dak is doing.
And that's what we'll just never know. You might be right, and you might be totally out of your mind. I just don't know. Those guys see him in practice every day. I don't. I saw him in those 4 games that he played 2 seasons ago. He looked fine until he lost. And you might be right, but I got to believe these guys who watch him every day, who have to make those decisions, look at him and say, damn, he's a backup, but I mean, is he a starting quarterback? I will still say, and I know, look, I don't think they should have signed Dak. I don't. I said it then. I'll say it now. But JJ's point is, where are you going? What's your plan? What are you doing better? Dak's a good quarterback. You got to pay a market value. I get both sides of it. I'm just not sure Cooper Rush is the answer, and I believe if it was, I'd like to believe that they would recognize that and they'd have seen it.
Well, I like to believe that Jerry Jones is
that's totally fair.
Such a control freak. He may be saying, "I'm paying the guy, so play him."
Yeah, and that may be 100% right too. Yeah.
Anyway,
that's like what's
have
going
a good
on.
weekend, guys.
Thanks, man. And that's what's going on in Cleveland, probably, right? With Stefanski and Deshaun Watson. For Kevin Stefanski to go out there and say Deshaun Watson gives us the best chance to win when you got Jameis Winston sitting there and you're not winning and you're a horrible football team and you're 1-5 and you got the Bengals at home and you're a 5.5-point dog at home. You know I love underdogs at home, but it's hard for me to eat the Bengals, isn't it? I mean the Browns.
I know I'm in an island with Dak Prescott. I don't think you can bake your way into multiple win seasons in the NFL. It hasn't been good in the postseason, but if we overanalyze every quarterback, there's going to be 3 people left to play the position in the NFL. You have to figure it out with good players. And the Cowboys, I think this is more towards they thought Dak Prescott was going to be the ultimate elevator, and he's not that guy. When you look at what they've done, absolutely punting on any run game. The wide receivers getting shredded by Troy Aikman, by the way, just calling them out this season, saying all the wide receivers, including CeeDee Lamb, terrible route runners this season. It's not a good space to be in.
So I don't know how you would ever do this, because I think the argument here is the amount of money and the percentage of the cap. And I don't know how you would ever reset the market. If high-paid quarterbacks were making, I don't know, let's just say $35, $40 million a year, which, by the way, is a bonkers amount of money, okay? And then, as opposed to $60 million, which is now market value, and then you'd have that other money to go around and spend it on the rest of your roster, would people feel as adamantly? So if you said, man, he's paying, Dak's getting top-of-the-market money at $35 million as opposed to $60 million a year, and you still have that money to go out and get another receiver, or you could afford Derrick Henry.
Could afford him if you wanted.
Of course you could have. But you see my point? I don't think you can ever reset the market.
No one cares about quarterbacks if they're winning. And then if you're losing, it's the reason why you're losing is because your quarterbacks make too much money. And
you know who you love even more? A quarterback who's winning and isn't making $60 million. You love Brock Purdy. Now let's see how much you love him next year when he's making $60 million a year. Because that dude's going to get paid in this offseason. Right? I don't even know who else is up. Matthew Stafford just got another contract. But, I mean, we'll watch it. I don't hate that. Basketball Media Day at the Resorts World in Las Vegas. Told you yesterday, Lobos were picked second behind Boise State in the media poll. I don't know what the tension was like in the room, if there was any tension. I mean, it's not like Brian Dutcher's the guy who decided to leave for San Diego State, or Leon Rice is the guy who pulled the trigger at Boise State. But you got 5 teams who are leaving the league that have to sit in the room for the next 2 seasons, and they're still in the league. And so I guess everybody was politically correct in regards to the, what did you think about realignment conversation. Richard Pitino responded to Jeff Grammer in regards to that. What do you think about it? Quote in Jeff Grammer's story this morning. Basically, my honest take on it is that I do think it sucks. I mean, look at the number of bids some conferences got into the NCAA tournament last year. For years before that, the Mountain West got 6 teams in, more than what these power conferences were getting. And I just think the players and coaches of this league did a really, really good job to build this thing into what it's become, a really good conference, and without the same kind of budgets. I feel like we were one of the best bargains in sports in that regard. Now that's all being broken up for something that could have been done in the Mountain West. What they're going to for football could have still happened without blowing up a really good basketball league that a lot of coaches and players worked hard at, end quote. I mean, he said it, and he's right. He's right. Now, I don't know how that plays in Boise and in San Diego.
It doesn't play at all. They don't care because now they're, Boise State, their football team's on the way to the national championship because they don't have to play New Mexico and Wyoming that are dragging them down.
Stand by. They're still in this league, and they may be on their way to the CFP this year, right? And they're still in this league, and they still may get there.
And they're going to be better in basketball because Gonzaga.
Tim Miles, San Jose State's coach. He coached at Nebraska. Quote, I was surprised because I really thought eventually we would get those two, Oregon State and Washington State, to join us. And maybe then you could attract Gonzaga or something like that. We could have a really strong singular football hold, or really strong singular foothold in the West. And now it feels like we've kind of fractured the Mountain West and fractured the WCC. And I don't even know how good the Pac-12 is going to be. It's Tim Miles. What could have been. And you look back on it, what could have been. And I get it. And they're, San Diego State and Boise State, they're, and I'm using air quotes, so much better than you are.
And you also have to look at the pool of I'm talking about the impact of Oregon State and Washington State to be like, hey guys, it's going to be better over here. We don't need a quote unquote fat dead weight at the bottom. Come over here. We'll even add and make it that much better.
Bottom dwellers. Because going to play in Pullman is so much better than going to the pit. Okay. By the way, and Boise State's been to the NCAA tournament the last 3 years. Would you say Boise State's a better basketball program than New Mexico? I wouldn't say it's head and shoulders like you all think it is. The pit's a different spot than Taco Bell Arena. What do they call it now? Energy 3 Mile Island.
Extra Mile Arena?
Yeah, whatever. I mean, the pit's a different spot. But Boise State will tell you they're a better program than you are. I don't know if that's true. I mean, it depends. If you want to say over the last 3 years, okay. Last 5 years, 7 years. But look, man, the Mountain West, I don't care what you tell me. Last year, watching Mountain West basketball every night was really, really fun. It was. It was more exciting, I thought, than the Pac-12. And I think the nation thought that as well. But it's a bummer. Rudy, how you living? Good morning. You're on the Sports Animal.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
I'll make my prognostication about the Lobo-Utah State game in a minute. It's a shame. I watched the volleyball match, parts of it, when I could. And it's obvious that there's an advantage that the player has over other people, can jump higher, can hit the ball harder. I don't know where the end of this is, but it's a really slippery slope, and I want people to compete fairly. And I don't know that that's fair competition after looking at it. So the problem is that's the law. So you can't be the conference commissioner and say, well, I don't like that, so I'm going to just create my own law.
That's correct.
And that's where we're at today, and that's the way it is. And I applaud the University of New Mexico volleyball team for having the courage to go out there and play amidst all this controversy. And I think that should be something that's said. And then congratulations to the women's soccer team. They're having a pretty good year. I think they can sneak in. Maybe we'll see what happens at the tournament. And then finally Saturday, I've been thinking about this game all week so I can make a decent projection. And I really think that UNM's offense is good enough to compete against anybody, and we've seen Utah State's defense give up a lot of points. I think it was 57 last week to UNLV.
Yep.
Don't know that we'll get to 57 this week, but I think we'll get to 41, and I think that'll be enough for UNM to come out of there with a hard-fought 41-37 victory. That's my prediction.
41-37 puts it at 78. That's right at the number, dude. 78.5 is the over-under.
It's just weird, you know. You try to pick numbers, and you're like, hey, wait a second, that's the over. It's right on the nose.
It's right on the number.
We'll see what happens.
Yep. All right, man. Enjoy the weekend.
You too.
Appreciate you. All right, 505-246-0610. I did get an email on Lobo Football, and it said something to the effect of, it's for, who's it from? It's from Bourne. It says, out of sight, out of mind, Jeff. It just shows pecking order of local sports when we're 2+ hours into this award-winning show and haven't mentioned Lobo Football playing tomorrow yet. 1 o'clock pregame over on News Radio KKOB, 2 o'clock kick at Utah State. I mean, look, pretty big stories today. Broncos won last night. You got the baseball stuff. You got what's going on with the volleyball. But I don't know, maybe if that shows you the pecking order, whatever you think it means. All right, when we come back, we'll do your free-for-all. Give you 3 games, each one of us, in the NFL. How to not bet so you can bet against us because, well, what are we? You're sitting at 10-11, and I'm 11-10. It's right around the Mendoza line. See if we can both make a couple bucks this week. We'll do that when we come back. Hey, this is a great idea for you. On-the-spot automotive detailing. They come out to you where it's convenient for you and detail your vehicle. That means not just wash your car, dude. Not just what you're going to do in your... No. They detail your vehicle. This is professional detailing. In fact, best in the city. They've earned best in the city because they are best in the city, and that's why they were honored as best in the city. On-the-spot automotive detailing brings their mobile unit to you while you are in your office or you are in your house, and they're outside, and they detail your vehicle when they're done. The car, the truck, your SUV looks, feels, and smells like the day you took it off the lot. Remember that, like that new car feel? It was cool. You wanted to be in it. You can have that without getting a new car. You just call On-the-Spot Automotive Detailing. This is a great gift, too. We're going into gift-giving season, and this is ideal for you. They also offer you paint protection film and ceramic coating. They are terrific in regards to window tint. They are a certified 3M dealer. That means they have the best product on the market. Protect one of your biggest investments. Call On-the-Spot Automotive Detailing. Go to OTSdetailing.com. You can book and buy there. It's all right there online. OTSdetailing.com.
Dirty Boys present Fill in the Holes, Albuquerque's newest and...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Don't sacrifice.
The whole concept is just to show you how hard this is. JJ and I are just picking 3 games off the NFL board against the spread or point totals. Not, hey, you got to pick this game or that. Like if you were going to the sports book and picking 3 games. We go in. JJ had a good week. You were 3-0 last week. You're up to 10-11 on the year. I was
Stone cold locks.
Yeah, against us.
5-1. I am the last 2 weeks.
Are you? What was I? I was 2-1 last week.
You're 4-2.
4-2.
Might call that a heater.
All right, so we're both on a little bit of a run. All right, what do you got for your first one?
First one is the man that knows what to do coming off a bye. Is the team that always
we're doing the same game
has an underdog finds a way to win. We're
doing the same.
Give me Kansas City +2.
Yeah, I'm on the same one. All right, so we both are on Kansas City +2 at San Francisco. By the way, look, it's written down. Just I want you to know I wrote them down before I didn't copy you. All right. My next game is I'm taking 2 favorites here. I got Dolphins aren't scoring points. I like the Colts defense a little bit. I don't love that they're going to start Anthony Richardson, but I'm going to take the Colts at home. I'm going to lay 3 points against Miami.
9 is the number that gets me.
Yeah, I know.
That's usually like, that feels a little too big.
It was hard to lay off, too.
I am going to take the Tennessee Titans +9 at the Buffalo Bills.
You know what I liked there? I almost went. I almost liked the over there. I just thought there were going to be points there. In that game, it was, 40.5? I just think there's going to be points there. I almost went over. All right, what's your last one?
The last one, I'm going all dogs this week.
All right.
In tough spots on the road. But give me the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, that's
plus 1.5 at the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are coming off a bye week. The Lions.
You got it 1.5. I got it at 1. Which way you want? Oh, yeah, I got it 1.5.
There'll be some adjustment. They'll be hurting a little bit without Aiden Hutchinson, so I think there's gonna be points scored. But give me the Lions.
Yeah, it's the one I laid off. See, I wrote that right there. Lions +1. I laid off of it. I'm going to take Atlanta lay 3 at home against Seattle. I think Seattle traveled across the country struggles. Hell, they struggled at home to beat. They lost to the Giants. I think they're scuffling. I think Atlanta's found something. I think they're scoring points, and I like Atlanta laying 3 at home. Big total in that game, 51.5. But I like Atlanta. So you got Chiefs, Titans, and Lions. I got the Chiefs, Colts, and Falcons. Edward, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, sir.
Hello, gentlemen. I like the 3-for-all. You know, when I used to unleash the 5-star picks, I picked it at about a 52 to 55% rate year over year.
It's a winner.
And it just, like you said, to illustrate how difficult this is, I might have to reinvigorate the 5-star picks.
Yeah, it's hard,
But they say in Vegas, the experts pick it around a 55 to 57% rate, and those are the experts. By no means do I proclaim myself an expert, but I was right there. Hey, University of Georgia going to Texas. You know, that stadium sits a cool 119 people. My son was going to go to the game. It's a cool $800 to sit in the upper deck. $800 to sit in the upper deck. 100,000 people. So that's crazy. The Dak Prescott conversation, I'm in agreement with JJ, right? He's not on an island. But, Jeff, you said something that was what I believe is 1,000% accurate. They paid Dak Prescott that money to be a force multiplier, and he's not. We have 8 years of data. Now, in fairness to Dak, there might be 3 or 4 force multipliers in the league at quarterback, right? He's just not one of them, and that's okay. You're playing market value. When I say that they're saddled with bad contracts, I think Diggs is a horrible contract. It's just a bad contract, and a lot of teams have bad contracts. I think they're going to give Micah Parsons money, and in his 4th year, we're finding out that he's a very unique pass rusher. He's terrible against the run. He's a little undersized for the position he plays. and they're going to throw the bank at him. They should trade him tomorrow, in my opinion. Now, I'm not a Cowboys fan, but since it's the topic du jour on this show, I go with it, right? But like I told you the other day, I think there's a further bottom for this organization, kind of where they are, because they have a bad roster, and their coaching staff is average. So be that as it may, I think we're in position for some great games. I have a funny feeling that the Vikings are going to take care of the Lions this weekend. I just, with the loss of their great defensive player, I just think the Vikings are going to close the deal. The Niners, they may find a way to keep it close and maybe even beat Kansas City, but we know what's going to happen in February.
That's right.
Gentlemen,
later.
You guys have a delightful day.
All right, good stuff. This just came in. Former Bronco quarterback, have you seen this? Jay Cutler? Jay Cutler's in the news today. Former Bronco quarterback Jay Cutler arrested in Tennessee last night after a traffic crash. He faces 4 charges. He was charged with driving under the influence, possession of a handgun while under the influence, failure to exercise due care to avoid a collision, and implied consent. Franklin County Police said that they responded to a crash in downtown Franklin, Tennessee, 5 o'clock last night. Suggested that Cutler rear-ended another vehicle. The police report reads thusly: during their conversation with Cutler, officers noticed a strong odor of alcohol. Cutler was also slurring his words and had bloodshot eyes. Cutler refused field sobriety tests and was taken to a local hospital where a blood sample was obtained through a blood search warrant. That was, end quote. So Jay Cutler's in a little trouble. Didn't he just get put into some, like, Hall of Honor somewhere?
He's just still living off Vandy's win over Bama.
Yeah, who's the best quarterback ever at Vandy? Was it him or Diego Pavia? Just asking.
I think Jay Cutler's a forgotten man right now.
I know he's not because he's in the news. First round pick of the Broncos in 2006. That's 18 years ago. All right, 505-246-0610. Hey, I ran across this article, and this was the Associated Press. And Mark Anderson wrote a story, and it was published yesterday. It says Commissioner Gloria Nevarez, the Mountain West has firm footing. And everybody did, Jeff Grammer's got a podcast out with the commissioner at the Mountain West. But some of the things that the commissioners talked about the league in which the Lobos reside. And she said, I do feel a lot better because we're secure till 2032. We have a core membership, and I think everyone in the core membership is committed and in it to win it. The buy-in is really strong. So that was part of what she said. She talked about how it all went down with Utah State, said they were in and then they left. And, quote, all the athletic directors and all the presidents were able to cut through to the core issues and what makes us good for all of us. We got to a great place, and I think everyone's happy with it. So another one of her quotes. She talked about Hawaii and how basketball and volleyball are now trickier. Quote, we really need to think about how to balance those out, but we have been an airplane league forever. It's just the nature of the Western region. And she ended this talking about, with the conference appearing to be secure for now. She acknowledged that it's continuing to evolve. Quote, whatever's happening, I think it starts on the East Coast like this current realignment did. We have to be ready to react for that because I think it's being pulled by conferences that aren't in the Western region, whatever that means. Do you buy... let me ask you this. What's the definition of security? Because the headline reads, the Mountain West Conference is secure, or on firm footing, I'm sorry. What is firm footing? What does security, what does stability mean right now in college football, college athletics?
Nothing.
I agree with that.
Outside of 4 leagues.
So stability means, do I have a league for the next cycle? Right? Cycle to me. And it feels like that cycle is through 2032. That's when they're granted rights. There was look, man, we sat here within the last 2 months, and where the hell is New Mexico going to be? There was a real possibility if this thing fractures and goes away and the PAC decided to take X number more teams, and there are a few teams left. Would New Mexico be one of those just floating in that stratosphere somewhere, trying to latch on somewhere? Would you get in with the American? Would you get in with Conference USA? Where are you going? Like there was a minute that was real conversation, right?
Yes.
So firm footing stability means all these schools are committed to be together through 32, which feels like eons away, and maybe it is, because Lord knows what the college athletic landscape looks like in 2032. Right?
Yes.
I know people have been knocking Gloria, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know Gloria well. I know Gloria a little bit. I think she's done a hell of a job building this thing, keeping it together. You're going to tell me, Jeff, look, everybody left. Why don't you tell me what you or she or Bill Belichick or anybody would have been able to do to keep this thing together? Because you and I both know there were a couple of schools in this league and 2 outside of it. There were 4 schools that were hell-bent on peeling the top and going to the PAC.
Yeah, they were. And I think the move that the Mountain West made, Gloria Nevarez, everyone signed off of, hey, let's have this scheduling agreement with Oregon State, Washington State, bail each other out, show that this can be something moving forward. But the Cougs and Beavers, the whole time, we're just looking at...
There was no way.
We are going to rebuild the Pac-12 ourselves, our way.
Yep.
And that means we're cutting the bottom of your league.
And whatever we perceive to be the bottom, and that's New Mexico, Wyoming, Nevada, San Jose State. Yeah. We don't want you. We don't want to have to go to Laramie. We'd rather go to Pullman. It's way easier. And look, man, I've been to Pullman. I've been to Laramie. I love both those spots. You've been to Pullman, right? You haven't gone up there for a game?
Corvallis.
Okay. Yeah, Corvallis is cool. It's not that hard to get to. You go to Portland and drive 45 minutes. It's not that hard. Pullman's a little different. But, I mean, it's not that different than Laramie. It's remote. It's cold. It's everything but elevation. Right? All right, we'll wrap you up when we get back. Still have time for you to get in. 505-246-0610 if you want to. We'll get you set for the weekend. Emails are still coming in, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. It is the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy.
Actually cut it short because I knew we were at a short segment. We had to get callers in, but I felt like I could have set a new mark this morning. You know, it's like going down to sea level or something. 505-246-0610 if you still want to get in. Jeff Symbiota, JJ Buck, thank you for spending so much time with us this week. And this is a really interesting week. A lot of new voices, a lot of phone calls, a lot of input, and incredibly appreciative of it. And thank you for remembering that you listen to the Sports Animal and the opening drive in the mornings. What do you got to know as you go through your day? What's people going to be talking about? Broncos 33-10 over New Orleans last night. Dismantling of a beat-up, not very good New Orleans team. They were playing without their quarterback, without 2 linemen, without their top 2 receivers. They were beat up on defense. Alvin Kamara was held to 24 yards from scrimmage. Javonte Williams, 14 carries, 88 yards, and a couple of touchdowns for Denver. Bo Nix didn't turn the ball over, although probably should have by all rights. Broncos are 4-3. And they get Carolina next after the 33-10 win. Guardians beat the Yankees in an incredibly, unbelievably exciting baseball game last night in Ohio. Aaron Judge hit a home run off of Emmanuel Clase. Looked like the Yankees were going to win. Down to the last out, John Quincy Noel hit a 2-out home run in the 9th to tie it for the Guardians and send it to extra innings, and then David Fry with a walk-off in the 10th. So that is now a 2-1 series. Yankees lead it. Game 4 is in Ohio tonight. Dodgers in Queens last night beat the Mets 10-2. Another Ohtani home run. Betts went 4 for 6. Dodgers roll the Mets. They can close them out tonight. It is Game 5. Dodgers are up 3-1 in New York. Volleyball last night out at Johnson Gym. San Jose State beat New Mexico 3-1. A lot of national attention around San Jose State and the fact that there was even a match. That was obviously a huge topic this morning. In Lobo women's soccer, 3-0 over Fresno State. You listen to JJ Buck give that to you over on the Mountain West Network. Tomorrow here on The Sports Animal, we will have Lobo, actually over on News Radio KKOB, we will have Lobo football for you. Lobo's at Utah State, JJ. I haven't even looked at the number in a minute.
It's gone down.
What's it down to?
77.5.
See, so if you want to bet the over, you're getting a bargain now. Are Lobos still favored in that game? Lobos are 2-point favorite at 77.5-point number. It's on True TV. You can listen to it over on News Radio KKOB. JJ Buck and Nedward Abraham James will have the pregame starting for you at 1 o'clock. Meanwhile, here on the Sports Animal, we got South Carolina and Oklahoma at 10. Texas and Georgia, this week's game of the year, tomorrow night here on the Sports Animal, 5 o'clock. And then we got you covered all day for football on Sunday. Patriots and Jags from London at 7:15. Eagles and Giants in a huge NFC East clash at 11. JJ's got women's basketball. Lobos open up the exhibition season against New Mexico Highlands. That'll be here on the Sports Animal at 1:30. Raiders and Rams will be over on KTBL. And then Sunday Night Football, Jets and Steelers right back here on your home for the National Football League. Monday night and Sunday night and Thursday night and Sunday afternoon football. The Sports Animal. Did I get it all?
I think you did.
Damn, that's a lot. This just crossed, dude. So there's going to be a new 3-on-3 basketball league that is going to recruit Caitlin Clark. It's called Unrivaled. It's spearheaded by Brianna Stewart and Nafisa Collier. So they're going to try to raid the league? Is that why Angel Reese said WNBA don't pay my bills?
They're not raiding. It will be supplementing the WNBA.
It's supplemental. Okay. It's designed to give players an alternative to going overseas during the off season, is what this is. Okay. So instead of having to go to Russia and have a little weed in your adopt kit and spend a year in prison, what?
Stay off.
Kind of what happened, right? It's kind of what happened. A little weed oil, right? Isn't that what happened? Yeah. The debut season will be January. 30 initial players in the league, all of whom will receive an equity stake. So far, only 26 have been announced. They're going hard after Caitlin Clark. Okay. I mean, women's basketball has never been more marketable. Never. And so go make as much money on it as you can. Like knock yourself out. Louisville football tomorrow. What do you expect? This is JJ, if they want to be in a bowl game, it's a must-win, right?
Yes.
For the program to continue the upward momentum and keep people's attention as basketball starts, it's a kind of got to win game. But if you're planning on postseason, if you're thinking, and I know you're telling me, Jeff, shut up, man, you're 2-4. I get it, but if you win this weekend, you're 3-4, and there's winnable games in front of you.
5 of the next 6 games are potentially pick-em type of content.
And is Washington State just flat out unwinnable, depending on what happens when you get there? It's not. You get an opportunity in all these games, right?
Still think they'll be sizable favorites against the Lobos because one thing that won't change is this defense.
Are we going to sit here at the end and kick yourself for the Montana State game? Are we looking at a 5-7 team at the end, and potentially, right?
Yes.
In the Montana State game that got away on the very first game, you're just going, oh. And remember back
17-point second half lead.
Yeah, fourth quarter lead, in fact. Yeah. I think they score points. I'm interested. Look, the Utah State's quarterback is nice too. You got 2 defenses who are scuffling. Bronco talks about all the time. It's the chunk plays, and I don't know how all of a sudden you're going to stop giving them up. You keep coaching them up. You keep getting better. You keep watching film. You keep, hopefully you get better. I like New Mexico in this game. Do you like them tomorrow to win?
I think if they don't create a turnover, I think Utah State edges them by a possession.
I think they will create a turnover.
They have 1 interception.
Yeah, no, I think they will. I watched Utah State give it away a little bit last week to UNLV. I think they will.
That's UNLV.
I understand.
The Lobos have arguably the worst defense in college football.
I mean, statistically, you're not wrong. Statistically,
Utah State's right there.
Yeah.
So that's why it's going to be a crazy shootout game.
So these are the 3rd and 4th bottom scoring offenses, scoring defenses and total yard defenses in NCAA football.
Yeah.
Right? If you go,
the Lobos are giving up 42 points per game, as is Utah State.
Yeah, and those are just the Division I games. I think is what's in there. But yeah, if you go look at team stats and you go look at defense and you just go, holy smokes, what are we doing here? Points allowed, they're second, right? The only teams that are below them are Ball State and Kent State, and Kent State hasn't won a game yet. God, Purdue gives up a lot of points, don't they? As far as yards allowed, like you're looking at total defense, and you can find them third and fourth from last as well. Put up the points tomorrow. We'll be over on News Radio KKOB. Hey, have a great, safe weekend, boys and girls. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On is in at 4 o'clock, and then we're back Monday morning, 7 a.m., with award-winning radio to wrap up the whole weekend. Adrian, great week. I know you fought some demons over with the equipment and the system. Thanks for getting us back up on the visual side. It looks great on ProView Networks and our Facebook page and Comcast Channel 26. Appreciate your efforts. Big weekend for you?
Huge weekend.
JJ will be on the radio on Saturday with the pregame show with Ned over on News Radio KKOB. He'll be on the Sports Animal on Sunday afternoon with Lobo Women's Basketball. Dude does not get a day off. Have a great weekend, dude. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you on Monday. 4 decades of excellence. That is...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud